I need you all to look at this and help me decipher what it is that we're seeing. There's this Reddit called Regretful Parents, and typically it's women on there just talking about how hard parenthood is and a lot of the regrets that they have. And I happened to come across this post of a man who is saying that he regrets having IVF twins with his wife because she's useless. And there's some things that he's saying that kind of stood out between the lines that I think are red flags, but I want your opinion to really help me dive all through this. Regret is the only thing I feel. It has been 10 months straight. I feel that having kids was the worst mistake of my entire life. Me and my wife used to have a great time together. Almost every day, plenty of sleep and average income with a very promising career, almost doubled my salary in 1.5 years because of promotions. Wasn't a life of luxury, and the relationship was very average. I was satisfied with it most of the time, so the thought of going after someone else, specifically on these times, the thought of going after someone else, especially on these times of shallow people, wasn't pleasant, so it just worked for me. Then she wanted kids. I never thought about having kids before, only like a very distant thought at most. I've always been very rational. Hold on. I had to turn off the light. It was interfering with my eyes. I've always been very rational. One with most of the things very carefully planned. So I asked around about why people have kids and if there's any good on it. No parent gives an honest nor straight answer, so I did some research. It seems that people have kids for egoistic reasons only, like having a mini-me or someone to give love and care, especially when old. So the idea wasn't compelling either. I don't know if I was dealing with depression, but suddenly the thought of having kids seemed to be a challenge, and I love a good challenge. The universe tried to save me multiple times because we tried and failed for years until she proposed in vitro. Our relationship wasn't very good at the moment, so I said that if she could prove to me that she could be a better person, then we can do it. That proof to him part, if that isn't a red flag, I don't know what is. But let's continue. If she could prove to me that she would be a better person, then we would do it. Plus, she said she's been dreaming with kids since she was a kid and studied so much about it. I naively believed that it would be a walk in the park with someone so passionate about it. Then they happened because she actually can't do S by herself or can't do crap by herself. All the responsibility of going after doctors' documents and stuff fell on me, on my shoulders. And since the beginning until this very moment, I never really caught a break. It was a very hard pregnancy, so I guess it was so hard on him, right? Listen, it was a very hard pregnancy, a hard childbirth. Poor thing. He suffered so much in the childbirth. And on top of that, twins. I've never even held a baby in my life, but I chased knowledge to be the best parent I could be. And since I was working remotely, I could help. Listen, help. We faced every possible issue that existed. Really underweight babies, so we needed to feed them every 2 hours. No milk. She tried to breastfeed. A huge amount of colic because of formula, no sleep, challenges at my job. She was unemployed. On the beginning, I was excited. I read a lot of everything related to babies. I didn't adjust to them very well. It was frustrating, but I kept going. Turns out that a single book that they gave us in the hospital have more information than the person who dreamed about kids, and in a month I was dealing better with them than the mother. who should be a master expert on the subject. I mean, how is she how would she be let's continue. I honestly ask myself, how could that be possible? It's been only 3.5 months and I'm on the verge of collapsing. Mother says I can't sleep because I have work. But she can't control the crying, so I have to wake up, nurture, then give back to mother. Give back to mother so I can try to sleep again. But never last. Seriously, how can someone who never held a baby handle one better than someone who dreamt of having entire life? And so my life is on spiral of doom. I barely can focus on my job or attend to classes because I'm too damn tired. Have to do 90% of chores and errands because she's useless. She keeps promising sex. Now, this is the part that I really need you to help me interpret. Because do you think it's her idea to promise sex? She had a rough delivery, rough childbirth, rough pregnancy, and he's complaining about doing all of this, calling her useless. And now he's complaining that she keeps, quote unquote, promising sex. Whose idea do you think that is, and how do you think he's bringing that up to her? Nonetheless, she keeps promising sex, but that never happens because she's too tired. Even if she doesn't work and she sleeps more than I do and can't keep those damn little screaming things quiet for 2 hours straight, and that's going from night to day until the next night. I know they're innocent, but I regret so much have continued this relationship and having babies. I keep thinking on how much I lost, how far I could be if I could sleep well and produce well. I try to be positive towards her because of her breast milk and to have someone dealing with those things sometimes, but it's getting very hard to maintain this facade. Do you think he's really putting up a facade of being this really positive person, honestly? People say it gets easier, but we have to survive for 5 years, and I think that's a lie too. While I do like some little things like their smile, and they seem to be very smart, I can feel everything fading away a little more every day. Muscle memory, good digestion, hygiene, happiness, will to live. And I can only regret this stupidity. So I understand that he's sleep deprived, but I'm concerned for the life of these children. I'm also concerned for the mother. It sounds like she may have some sort of postpartum, and the person who's supposed to be her support seems to be wrapped up in this delusion of how he actually got there. IVF is not a one and done kind of thing. It is a commitment with injection of hormones, going to doctors. He said he did all of the doctor's appointments and planning all of that stuff himself. He claims that the relationship was only average before, but he got intimacy every day. And so now that her vagina busts wide open from 2 kids coming out and she's trying to rest from this hard pregnancy and delivery, and I was a little confused about whether or not she was producing breast milk or wasn't, because at the end it seemed as if she is breastfeeding, but then he's calling the children things. That's what's concerning to me. He seems to be blaming her, but he said this was something that took years. They tried for years. And then when it didn't work, they did IVF. So he was an active participant. And then he seems to be resentful about helping. No, you're a father. These are human beings that are in the world. And if the mother is unable to step up, then guess who has to step up? You do. You're a father. And he's acting as if this is something that she forced on him. Personally, I'm concerned for the lives of the children because you see, he's claiming that he's losing his will to live. And in our last story with the am I the a-hole for the incompetent husband, one little oopsie, and where will we be? Leave your thoughts, comments in the